Hi, I'm back with you sharing my journey of healing periodontal disease. And I left off yesterday sharing with you the number one thing you have to get to is the root cause. And oftentimes we don't get to the root cause of our illnesses, and then it shows up again in our life in another way or the same way again, repeating itself for us to get those lessons a second time or a third time. And so I really feel that as we heal any disease in our body, one of the key things we must do is get to the root cause. So one, science says, a scientific review of related studies found a strong link between periodontal and gum disease and mood conditions like stress, distress, anxiety, depression, and loneliness. The most obvious explanation for the link comes from the behavioral effects that stress, depression, and anxiety have on the body. So even science knows there's a link here, okay? Now, let me say that the CDC reports, and know that the CDC is the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Prevention, too. So why isn't the CDC sharing this stuff with us? Because this is prevention, and I'm not the first one to know this. The CDC reports that nearly half of the population in the United States of America, okay, nearly 48%, that's almost half the population, between the ages of 30 and 70 years of age, have some form of periodontal disease. That is 1 out of every 2 people in the United States. And those numbers look grimly different when you involve the whole world in this. So then I did a little research and I came to a website which was by this amazing woman, the Holistic Tooth Fairy. And on her website, she has a post where she's asking you to understand the spiritual meaning of gum disease. And in her post, in her website, she says, the spiritual meaning of gum disease symptoms are often overlooked. Yet working with the messages often holds the key to the effective healing, the truly effective healing, okay? Gingivitis, periodontal, or gum disease often begins with gum recession or gum pockets, which are variations on the way that the gum can separate from the teeth. Physical symptoms for gum disease are influenced by metaphysical factors. And when I say metaphysical factors, they're influenced by metaphysical factors at the cellular level. So what are metaphysical factors? Spiritual factors, emotional symptoms, aspects, factors, and psychological factors. Okay? The behavior of our gum cells is guided by proteins which carry information not only from physical influences, such as our nutrition and our environment, but also from our subconscious thoughts and emotions. So communication between our subconscious and our physical body is often very metaphorical. And the main role of our gums is to hold our teeth in place and support them to be strong and straight. So when you aren't feeling well supported, the gums can embody this as a metaphor in your mouth. So I look at a book I have, and I'm going to say it again. I said it in one of the other videos. It's The Metaphysical Anatomy by Yvette Rose. It is her way of saying your body's talking. Are you listening? And she has quite a bit in here on gum disease and periodontal disease. And she offers reflection on questions you can look at. And while my journey inward is my journey, going into great detail of everything that came up for me isn't what's going to heal you in your disease. Yours will be your own reflection into these aspects and area of your own life. So today I'm only going to go into how important it is to get to the root cause and some questions to reflect on when you're there. And in another video coming up forward, I will go deeper into detail of what it looks like, because when you make any change, there's a 3-step process to change itself. There's the whole game that you're changing, which is the belief system, the outcome, the literal physical change, the big game that you're changing, and then how it needs to be addressed inwardly and outwardly both, because that's exactly what I'm taking you through on this whole journey. So I'll go through the process of any change and how we look at change so you can apply this to anything and everything in your life as well. But I'm going to wrap up real quick here with just a few questions for you to reflect on from Yvette Rose's book, Metaphysical Anatomy, on the topic of periodontal disease and gum disease. So these are key points to reflect on in your own personal life and see if anything comes up for you. Feeling unsafe when making decisions or doubting your own judgment. Exploring trauma-related feeling to a sense of unworthiness of any type. Trauma-related to feeling powerless. That you have to bend over backwards for others and don't really have a sense of control and balance in your own life. Trauma related to feeling like a victim of a particular circumstance or area in your life. Trauma related to feeling restricted by authority, put in really tight parameters with so many limits around you that you can't really feel like you can do much. And another one is looking at the types of criticism that you feel like you've had enough of. If you've reached a point where you're done with others criticizing you in a particular way. And the biggest area is looking at where you feel unsupported and why, and what you would want and need to feel in that place. So there are two components to this. One, where you feel unserved or judgmental in an aspect, an area of life. And then two, how you'd really love to feel in this area. And I'm going to leave it on that note because I've left you with a lot to process. But I'll pick up from here next time. And I'll also be sharing with you my toothpaste recipe for the healthiest teeth in the world.